Hi guys, welcome back. Today we are learning about interest and depreciation. We've got 4 success criteria, and the first one is to find a percentage of an amount. So using a calculator, we can find a percentage of an amount. So if we want to find 45% of 32, we type in 45 into the calculator. Then we press Shift and ANS, and that gives us the percentage sign. And then we press times 32. And if we press equals, that will tell us what 45% of 32 is. And we should get 14.4. On older calculators, the percentage button might be the open bracket button, so you press Shift and the open bracket button instead of Shift ANS. If your calculator doesn't have a percentage button, or you don't know where it is, you can still do this by doing 45 times 32 and then divide the answer by 100. And you should still get the answer 14.4. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. There's your green answers. There's your amber answers. There's your red answers. And there's your purple answers. And now we've completed success criteria 1. So now we're going to move on to number 2, and this is to calculate simple interest. So interest has 2 meanings in finance. It can be the charge for borrowing money from a bank or a loan company, and it can also be the growth of your money in a savings account. Simple interest means that the amount of interest stays the same each year. So Simon borrows £200 from a bank. The bank charges 5% simple interest per annum. Per annum just means per year. If Simon borrows the money for 3 years, how much will he pay back in total? So we start by finding 5% of £200. So that's £10. So the bank charges £10 interest per year. So after 3 years, the total amount of interest he'll have to pay is £30. Now he'll also have to pay back the £200 that he borrowed plus the £30 interest. So in total, he needs to pay back £230. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So this question says Jess borrows £500 from a bank. The bank charges 10% simple interest per year. If she borrows the money for 6 years, how much money will she pay back in total? So we work out 10% of £500, which is £50. So the bank charges £50 per year as interest. So in 6 years, the total amount of interest will be £300. So she's going to have to pay the bank back the £500 she initially borrowed plus £300 interest. So in total, she's going to have to pay back £800. So the simple interest steps: find the percentage of the amount, multiply your answer by the number of years, add this to the original amount. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. And there's your amber answers. And now we've completed success criteria 2. So now we're going to move on to number 3, and this is to calculate compound interest and depreciation. Compound interest means that each time interest is paid, the added interest also receives interest. Depreciation means something is decreasing in value. So there is a formula to remember for compound interest and depreciation. We do the amount times the multiplier to the power of time. Now remember, the multiplier is 100% plus or minus the percentage divided by 100. So in this example, Hannah invests £500 in a savings account with a compound interest rate of 6% per annum. Remember, per annum just means per year. How much money will be in the account after 3 years? So if we do £500 times by 1.06, because that's a 6% increase, that will be £530. In the second year, we do the same, £530, and we increase it by 6%. So that's now £561.80. In the third year, we times that amount by a 6% increase, which gives us £595.508, which, if we round it to the nearest pence, is £595.51. So in the first year, after 1 year, there'll be £530 in the account. After 2 years, there'll be £561.80 in the account. And after 3 years, there'll be £595.51 in the account. Now another way we could have done this is using our formula, and that's where we do 500 times by the multiplier, so that's 1.06, but we do it to the power of 3 because we want how much is in the account after 3 years. If we type this into our calculator, we get this amount, which we round to £595.51. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So this question says, Jack borrows £45 with a compound interest rate of 4.5% per week. How much will he need to pay after 10 weeks? So we do the amount times the multiplier to the power of time. So the amount is £45. The multiplier will be 1.045, and it's after 10 weeks, so we do it to the power of 10. That gives us this number here, which we need to round to the nearest pence. So our answer is £69.88. This example says a TV bought for £1,200 loses 15% of its value each year. What is the value of the TV after 3 years? So because the TV loses value, this is what's known as depreciation. So we do the amount times the multiplier to the power of time. So the amount is £1,200. The multiplier this time, because we've lost 15% of the value, 100% take away 15% would be 85%. So the multiplier is 0.85. And we do that to the power of 3 because we want the value of the TV after 3 years. When we type this into the calculator, it gives us £736.95. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So this question says a car bought for £51,000 depreciates in value by 20% each year. What is the value of the car after 5 years? So we do the amount, 51,000, times the multiplier. So depreciates means it loses value. So we've lost 20%. So that means there's 80% left. So the multiplier is 0.8. And we do that to the power of 5. So our answer is £16,711.88. Here's another example. Mason invests £300 in a savings account. The bank offers an introductory interest rate of 5% for the first year, then 1.5% for each year following. How much money will be in the account after 3 years? So we start with the amount. Now the multiplier for the first year will be 1.05 because that's an increase of 5%. And that's just for 1 year. Then the next subsequent years, the interest rate is 1.5%. So the multiplier needs to be 1.015. And that's going to be for the next 2 years. If we type this into the calculator, we get this number here, which we need to round to the nearest pence. So our final answer is £324.52. Here are some questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to mark your work, press play. Here are your answers. So there's your green answers. And there's your amber answers. And now we've completed success criteria 3. So now we're going to move on to number 4, and this is to apply to problem solving questions. So this example says Harry puts some money in his savings account for 4 years. He got 2.5% interest per annum, and at the end of 4 years he had £3,000. So how much did he originally invest? Well, we have our amount and the interest rate is 2.5%. So that means the multiplier would have been 1.025, and that's after 4 years. Now that equals £3,000. So we need to work backwards doing the opposite. So we do £3,000 divided by 1.025 to the power of 4. So our answer, and we need to round to the nearest pence, so the final answer is £2,717.85. Here are 2 questions for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. Here are your answers. So for the green question, we're increasing by 1.2%, so the multiplier is 1.012, and after 8 years she has £3,850.46, so we need to work backwards doing the opposite. So the opposite of times and by 1.012 to the power of 8 is dividing by 1.012 to the power of 8. That gives us this answer on the calculator. So to the nearest pence, the answer is £3,500. For the red question, we start with an amount of money and it's been increased by 3%. So the multiplier is 1.03. Now that's for the first year. Then for the next 5 years, the multiplier will be 1.015, and that equals £388.36. So we need to work backwards doing the opposite. So we divide by 1.015 to the power of 5, and then divide by 1.03 to the power of 1. That gives us this answer on the calculator. So to the nearest pence, our answer is £350. In this example, Janice takes out a loan of £455, which has an interest of 3% per day. She pays back £543.29. So for how many days did she have the loan? Well, in a question like this, we need to do some working out until we get the amount of days. So we start with day 1, then we do day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, and there we get the amount. So she took out the loan for 6 days. Here's a question for you to have a go at. Pause the video, and when you're ready to see what you should have done, press play. So Max invests £3,000 in a savings account for X number of years. The interest rate is 3% per annum. and after X number of years he has £3,689.62. So we want to find the value of X. Now after 1 year, his amount will be £3,090. After 2 years, after 3 years, after 4 years, after 5 years, 6 years, and 7 years. And there we've got the amount. So it was after 7 years. And now we've completed success criteria 4. So now that we've completed the last objective, it's time to end the video. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you found it useful. Make sure to like and subscribe and be sure to check out the other videos on the rest of the channel. I'll see you next time. See ya.